Oh, there's a muskrat sitting right on the bank. I see 2 of them from here already. You suckers are done. There's one underneath that dock there too. Look at him. Ah, I can't wait. Okay, quick intro. Heading for the muskrat pond. My favorite time of year. Water trapping opens today. It's November 19th. Had a real cold front last night. Snow, ice. I don't think the pond will be frozen. It may have been frozen last night, but I let the sun come up a little bit now, so it's probably not frozen over. But if this temperature keeps up, it'll freeze over during the week. I'm pretty sure we get a couple of days of sustained temperature like this. So the muskrat opened a little bit later this year. So it actually was a good time because the archery season ended yesterday for me, which was Friday. Now, in some parts of the state, it's still open, but that was helpful for me because they moved it till after the close of the archery season. The next week is gun season. That starts, I think, the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Tomorrow is opener of bear here, I believe. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is statewide rifle, general firearm season for bear. And then I think bear is open for some of the regions, some of the wildlife management units for the opening of the archery or for the opening of the gun season. But yeah, I'm excited. Going to put some traps out, and we'll see what happens when we get there. Yep, this is what we want to see here. Active pens. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3 right in a row. Let's see, maybe 1 more up here. See where they have the banks cut away. Oh yeah, there's another big hole there. Look at that one. Okay, time to set up some traps. These ones are pretty. I don't see them too often around here. I'm assuming that's a pair. Pretty birds. They're big birds. Gotta be careful not to catch one of those guys. Okay, at the pond now. Ready to get my gear on. I will need the winter gear today. It is brutal cold, but that's okay. It's windy and there is ice on the water, but it's not frozen over. It's just edge ice. But there are some hard rat trails out here, and that's what I was hoping to see. I talked to the landowner a couple weeks ago, and he said, "Oh, you gotta come and get those monkeys out of my pond." I said, "I'm your man." So we're gonna go out and we're gonna saturate this whole pond with traps, just like I did last season. I'm gonna set traps along the creek then too. This real cold weather, I think, is gonna put a dampener on the coon movement. But I caught some big coons here last year, and I'm sure there's more this year. But I'm gonna set the creek as well for mink and for coon, and then we'll see what happens. So I haven't caught a mink here in a long time. I haven't caught a mink along that creek in a long time. I don't know what the mink population is like around here. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna give it a go. I tried last year, didn't catch one at all. I'm gonna try again this year and see if I get one. But all right, time to set up. Get the chest waders on and ready to go. Okay, here's the setup we're going to be using today. We got 155s for my metal stake stands that I built. It's a 155 on a longer stake stand. Got some double spring 155s. Got some regular single spring Magnum 110s. So that's what we're going to be using to set these runs. I used the 155s I have in mink boxes too, and then the 110s I have in mink boxes as well. And then I've got some hags equipment, the hags bracket. You can actually see on the end of my 55s here, I have the hags clips on them. So I'm on the fiberglass poles as well. I won't be just using these stakes. I'll and some coon traps down at the creek. I'll probably do it over today and tomorrow. I might not get it all done today, but that's what we're going to use. Just simple stuff, but very effective stuff. I made a video earlier on in the year about the better catch with the 155 for the bigger rats, because it tends to suitcase them and they can't, get away. A 110, even on a big rat, once they get their head in there, they're pretty much done, because they only can fit their head and shoulders in it. But I get a mix of juvenile rats and adult, like large rats here. So, all right, let's get to it. Okay, there we go. First set of the year. See, it's going into a bank down here. They have it burrowed out pretty good. You can see the dirt trail coming out of it. So I was that subtle. This is a pretty subtle den. I missed a lot of these last year, and if I'd have set them, I would have caught. But this is not a real hard trail coming out of it, but it's enough evidence there for me to believe that something is using it. So there's our first set of the year. Okay, these 155s here, these are Magnum 155s. And they're pretty strong. You can see they have safeties on them. You just have to not forget to take the safety off. We use a set of setters here. I'll show you how to do this. I made these setters myself. Pull them tight. Get it over the spring. Put your safety on. My fingers and my knuckles are not as strong as they used to be. Same with this one. Get it over the spring. Put your safety on. Okay, both safeties are on. The trap is loose. Never put your fingers into the jaw. We're going to bring it over. I usually set it on the second notch. Those notches are actually there for a reason. The further back you set it in the back notch, the harder it is to set off the trigger. So the more force you need, but also the faster the trap is going to close. The further forward you put it, that front notch makes it a very light trigger. So for a bigger animal like a muskrat that's going to go into a trap with speed, you can set it on the second one or the third one. For a mink or something smaller like that you want very light pressure on it, you set it on the front one, and it'll trigger much easier. But now I have my safety here too, so you can hook that over there and then close it over the board like that, and then that trap, even if I bump the trigger, it won't go off. You see the safety's off on that, safety's off on that, and then she's ready to go. Okay, here you can see the setup with the Hags bracket, or the Hags clip, should I say. It has the clip on the end of the spring there. Let's see here, I have one with it on it. So it mounts on the 3/8 fiberglass pole, which is what this is. So you can have it mounted like that, and you can change the height of it. You can set it to any height that you want in the water. So you can put these mid-water with bait on it as well, or on top of the water with bait on it. And if you want to, you can actually turn the trap. So it's pretty versatile. You can set it a lot of different ways. But I really like the Hags equipment. You see here I have a 1.5 that I've modified, a Duke 1.5 that I've laminated the jaws on for coon and for mink for water sets. And you can see this has a Hags bracket on it. Now this will work a lot of different ways. I have other videos on my channel as to how this works, but this is a really good piece of equipment. There's a lot of different ways you can use it. You can wire it to logs. You can use a 1/2-inch stake. You can flip it upside down, stake it into the ground. You can use it on the 3/8 inch rod with this hole here. It will do the same thing. It will actually rest the trap on the stake like that. And then after you set your trap, you put the peg in the trap into the holder, and it will actually mount it. It will mount it right on the bracket like that. So then you can have a bait on the pole, a carrot, apple, whatever, and then the animal will climb, the muskrat or mink will climb up on the trap to eat the bait, and then he'll get caught, the trap will come off, and he'll go down into the water and he will drown because he can't lift the weight of the trap up. But it's very versatile. You can mount it sideways, you can wire it to a tree, same way. You wire it this way, and the trap will also mount in it the same way, like that. You can use it as a drowner. There's holes in it. You can mount wire. You can screw it to wood. There's a screw hole in the back of it. You can use it as a drowner if you use it through one of the small holes. You can use it on wire. You can use it as a drowner. Absolutely excellent product. Excellent. Okay, let's get to setting more traps. Okay, I have a bit of a unique situation here. I know that hole wasn't there before, and I'm thinking that might be a muskrat, like a den hole that's out under the, away from the bank. I've seen them start to do that in the last couple of seasons here. They're not always burrowing into the bank. A lot of times the bank around this isn't collapsing actually, but it's in a difficult spot for me to get. As you can see, it's under a little boat dock. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to put a hags bracket with a full hull trap out, because I think I can do this without falling in this freezing water. See, there's a little feed bed right there. There's a feed mat there, a weed, and then the water gets real shallow up in under the dock. But I don't know if I can reach that with it. I might have to get my wetsuit for this one. I think what we're gonna do is put the hags bracket under the dock, because I don't want the swans messing with it. But I have a secret weapon I made here. It's a mini float. So it's got foam on it. Of course, it's made of wood. I painted it. And I got a conibear clip on each side of it. So what I might do is put some bait in it, and I'll put some maybe I'll put coon lure in it. And then I'm going to float it under the dock near where that feed bed is and see if they use it. Alright, let's give that a try. Okay, quick shout out from my buddy Matt Brophy for Epler Fur Company. Coon bait. This is a paste bait. It almost smells good enough to eat. And this one is a Bandit Eliminator Raccoon, also from Epler Fur Company, from Matt Brophy. If you need any trapping supplies, Matt's the guy to see in my region of PA. He took over Epler Fur Company a while ago. Great guy to deal with, good guy to do business with. Alright, let's stick this under the dock. Okay, here I'm gonna tag out all my traps here. I got one here covering the back entrance to that. I got one there on the hags pole, because I think there's a tunnel under that rock. I'm not 100% sure, but I see another entrance way out there. It's way too deep for me to go out there. It's going to be up to my chest. But I got two traps there. Okay, let's move on to the next. Okay, I got one trap here on the hags pole. So, like I said, they're digging a lot of banks off the den. They're actually digging out off the edge, and in under the water, and coming into the bank. So that's number 3. This is number 4. And number 5. Again, you can see all the grass that's been cut in here. Look at all the grass floating in the water. Been chewing it. Again, I have entranceways off the bank, so I got to use my waders to get to that. This was frozen this morning. It's starting to melt off now. The waves and the sun hitting it. Okay, here's number 6 by the pipe here. Right under the bank. This bank is undercut, and there's, you can see that just the edge, tunnel edge there. They had feed beds up here last year. Now we're gonna go to the dock and see what I set up. Oh, look here. Rat toilet. You can see again all the grass cuttings along the bank here where they've been feeding. That's a good sign for a muskrat here. Usually in the rocks or logs that stick out of the water, it'll use as a toilet to mark territory. Okay, under the dock. 6 and 7. Got the float. with the weed on it. Got some coon lure in that, so it smells sweet, real sweet smelling. I know muskrats too like mint. If not, I'm gonna do my best to stick a body grip down in that hole, but we'll see what happens. I have a hag's bracket with the weed on it there to see if they'll climb up on that, because like I said, they have a feed bed under the dock there, so we'll see. Okay, these are pretty close together. There's number 9, there's number 10, all bank dents. There's number 11. That's a heavy trail on that one. That is a heavy trail on that one. Look at it. Blind man with a stick could find that. Didn't even have to put my glasses on to see that. And here's our last 2. You can see here where the bank is cut out. Man, these would be good places to put blind sets for mink working along the bank. This is a real subtle trail here, but I put a trap on it anyway just in case. And then I have a deep hole here. You can see my stake is actually under the water. I got a double spring 155 on that one. There's a big hole that goes in this way. And then I marked it with a stake just in case the pond freezes over, which it's gonna if this cold keeps up. You can hear me sniffling here. You see here from the old diggings where the bank is all destroyed. You gotta be careful where you walk like this. It's a sinkhole. See, it goes right down into the freaking water. The edges and tunnels cut everywhere. So they do cause a lot of damage, and that's why the landowner wants me to take them out. So we're gonna leave those soak overnight and then see what we got tomorrow for the first trap check. I'm expecting to see something. Okay, I'm gonna show you real quick. Quickest way to set up a DP. We got our Duke dog proof. We've got our cable retainer. And what we're gonna do is I already have it looped on the bottom of my swivel. So what I'm gonna do is put this around the tree, double loop it in there. Loop it around the clevis. That's 2 inches across and it's real springy, so there's no coon going to be able to pull that out. Then we're going to set the DP. This is a pull trigger only. Then we're going to stick it right in the trail on the coon trail here. There we go. Now what I'll do is I'll get my hammer and I'll pound the chain down a little bit, and we're going to bait it. Take it down a little bit there, you'll be able to see it. There it is. So this is a big coon trail right here, and it goes up the other side too. So I have some mink sets on the other side. So let's get some bait and finish it off.